Southgate his flowers for
Oh, good.
last night's game. It's gonna sound hard. It's gonna sound weird, but he set the team up well,
Yeah.
and his substitutions made a difference.
Well, they both were
for
involved
once.
in the goal.
Yeah. So I can't take that away from him. Do
Yeah.
I think he gets the best out of the players? No, blah blah blah. That's it's neither here nor there. But in today's game, well, yesterday's game, I think he was. I don't know.
He
He was.
he made
He
positive
made.
changes for once.
Yeah.
He didn't make the pragmatic ones of all right, cool. I'm gonna bring on Gallagher. I'm gonna take off a defender and put on
Mm.
Trent or someone, and then we're gonna see how it goes. Like
And it was.
he made positive substitutions. He brought on Watkins, even though I know
I'll
Gav
be honest, yeah.
doesn't rate Watkins at all.
Do you know what? When
And
he
he
brought on
brought on
Watkins,
Palmer.
yeah, I was thinking, wait, you're bringing on Watkins ahead of Tony. You know what I mean?
I know you were thinking that. I knew that's the first thing that went through my head. I was just like, yeah, I know Gav's sitting
I
there
didn't.
thinking, why
You
is
know, I
Watkins
didn't
coming
mind
on?
you.
Listen.
I didn't mind. I think honestly, I thought that either of them could have. I think either of them could have scored that goal. I
Yeah.
think both of them make that type of run.
But the thing is, Ollie Watkins is. I think Ollie Watkins is more likely to score that goal than Tony because Ollie
Yeah,
Watkins is more. He's more of an on the move kind of striker. And to be fair, the strike was class. To be fair, like
You know
hats
what?
off, man. It was a great finish.
For me, what I like most about the goal was that all these conversations that we've been having about a cluttered midfield and there's no outball, there's
Mm,
no running behind. Yeah,
mm.
look how deep he had that defensive line
Yeah, yeah.
and still found the space. The pass came through from one of our tens, and it was a slide pass down the side. The
Mm.
defender got quite out of position. He takes one touch and bang. That's kind of what we've been wanting to see from our team the whole tournament. So so far
yeah,
we've been
we
saying,
wanted to see progressive passing, and I think that's the first time we've seen a through ball from any of
yeah,
our players. But what's
Oh,
been
for Cole
annoying
Palmer.
me because what's been annoying me is like obviously my friends in my group chats they've been saying, "Oh, Cole Palmer's the only person in the team that could have made that pass." No, he's
nah, nah,
not.
nah, 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 nah.
Foden could easily do that pass, but he's obviously not been shown that he could do that. We've got, I'd say we got two or three players in our team that can make that pass. If we'd have bought Madison, that would have been four.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
think Foden's more like he's not as creative as people think.
You know what it is? I'm glad you said that, yeah, because I was just about to say that. You see, Phil Foden, yeah?
Yeah,
Phil Foden is a top football player in a system with Man City, yeah? The reason Cole Palmer has more to his game than Phil Foden is because Cole Palmer does not rely on the system. Cole Palmer is one of them players, you just put him on the pitch and he'll just do something, just like an Eze. Eze hasn't got an end product like Cole Palmer, but these kind of players will just make something happen out of the ordinary, like a Jack Grealish, which is why I said Grealish should have gone. Yeah, Foden, as good as he is,
right.
he relies more on a system than what the likes of Palmer and Eze do, because these guys are just more free spirit footballers. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't think I personally don't think Foden relies. I don't think he's a system player. Put it that way.
No, 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 it's not.
I think he's a player like how you have like a Robbie Fowler. You're like, yo, get the geezer in the box. Yeah, get
Robbie
the
Fowler
ball
was
to
a
him
bad boy,
into the
man.
box. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his zone. That's his area. If we're going to talk about Phil Foden,
Mm.
you're talking about on the edge of the box and inside the box. That's where you want to see him more often than not. The reason why he would shine so much in a Pep system is because Pep usually has teams pending in that type of situation,
Mm.
or he's going to get a certain amount of room or space in the midfield during a transition to run with the ball. Yeah, to do something with the ball.
Mm.
So I don't think he's so much of a system player. I just don't think he was. I don't think in general during this tournament he's been in the right positions.
Yeah. I
I
think the change of formation has helped him.
Yeah, I'd agree that I'd probably say that he is kind of a system player because I think he's been there. He's been Pep's boy like from the jump, whereas everybody else has either got their bit parts, like the Brahim Diaz, he got a bit part.
Mm.
Cole Palmer, he got a bit part. But I think Foden's been in that system and he's been allowed to grow with that system.
With the team, yeah.
So naturally, he will play that way. Whereas when
Yeah,
you take him and put him into the England squad now, he's now become more of a focal point, and
yeah, but then
he's got to offer more and give more.
Mm.
that's just
So
being
I
a
think,
victim of a manager of playing under a good manager.
yeah, I suppose it is as well, but like it does put him more into the systematic player bracket
Yeah,
than it
but
was.
if you took that and applied it to the other England players this tournament, most of them have been poor. Even though
Yeah, of
you
course.
can say that they could fit into different systems. Like this tournament, Declan Rice hasn't had a good tournament.
Yeah,
He's been poor, but
But
the thing is, Declan Rice. Let's be honest with you, yeah, he's
go
not
on,
as good again as what people make him out to be because
he is,
he's a
he is,
sideways passer. And
he
the thing is,
is.
you know, this is what I mean. You know why Declan Rice gets afforded a lot of time?
Yeah,
The same thing with Jude Bellingham. It's passion. These fans that don't know what they're looking for, they just care about the guys that are punching the ground and just G'ing them up. That's all it is. So
you
if
know
you're
what though?
doing
If you
that,
want a successful team, yeah,
go on.
you need a guy who's going to pass it sideways. You need a guy who's going to get the ball and give it to the guy who can make the passes that everybody wants to see. All right.
Right.
Now, I
I,
personally think Declan Rice is not playing the right roles within the team.
he's not. He's playing as a CDM,
Yeah,
and
he's not
also
good enough
we've
on the
got
ball
no.
to be playing that
he's
position.
not a
That's
deep
the whole
line
point.
playmaker.
Yeah, of course he's not. He's
Yeah.
not a quarterback, but we've also not like when I do look at Rice when he is in possession, and I look at the wingers and I look at the right and left backs. There's no one bombing forward. No one's making that run for him to be like, all right, I'm gonna attempt to hit this diag. I don't
Yeah,
think we've made that many diagonal passes throughout this tournament. Everything has actually been so passive and so safe, like
yeah.
really safe. Nothing there's nothing splitting the lines. Last night was the first time I've seen any of our players split the lines, and what happened? It resulted in a goal. So I think Gareth Southgate's really got to go back and look at this and be like, all right, cool. I'm going to keep what we did last night, and I'm going to try and find a solution that gets our creative players moving the ball
I mean,
progressively
this.
and gets our left and right backs going forward. Because if you bring on Shaw's going forward. He's going to put crosses in, but at the same time, you also need him to make that run. Because I need to be able to already have that vision in my head that, cool, I'm going to turn on this ball and I'm going to play it across the pitch. I'm
Yeah,
not going to turn on the ball and be like, have my hands out and be like, all right, so who's making a run? And then I'm going to get frustrated. And then the fans are going to get frustrated because the only place I can go is either back to my centre back
yeah.
or across to
I'll tell you
my
that
midfield partner.
the two things that got on my nerves the most in that first half was the times when Harry Kane would drop back and play
He
deep
does that.
line
He
playmaker
does. He does that too much, man.
because he's spraying the ball, but he can't get back into the mix of it.
Yeah.
He ain't got the legs for that. So
That's
every time
what.
he was doing it, one is his long passing ain't that good.
Nah, his long passing's good, man. His long passing's
Nah,
good.
in
Oh,
last night's
last
game,
night. Yeah.
it wasn't that good. Like if he drops back and he plays a stellar pass,
Mm.
makes a run, and maybe he catches it on the outside of the box or running into the box late, that's all good and great. But he's not even that. He wasn't even like 25 yards um from the box. No, from the goal. By the time the ball would come back in, so it was another one of those times when Saka was out wide, putting a good ball in, and he's not there.
Yeah,
That
because
that that's
he's either by the center circle by the time he's made the
yeah.
pass.
Mm.
If you look at Saka, just Saka's performances this tournament, yeah, a lot of people have said he's been underwhelming and so forth. But I have to admit, if we had a striker in the box, yeah, making the runs they're supposed to make, he would most likely have two or three more assists.
We
Possibly.
probably need to play a
Possibly.
4-4-2. If Kane's going to be dropping deep, we might have to play a 4-4-2. That
And
might
then,
be the best option.
you know what it is of England
Too
now.
late to switch it, man.
You know what England's biggest problem is, yeah, is that they've kind of tried to come with this whole they're trying to look at Spain and see how Spain play and trying to play this out from the back and all this nonsense, yeah. You know what they
We
need to
can't
just
do it.
do? They keep telling us this league's the best league in the world and it's nonsense now, yeah. Just play a traditional 4-4-2, two wingers, two strikers up front, Kane and Tony, pin them back, cross the ball in. They will probably have more luck, yeah, and more opportunity like that than trying to play it from the back. Because let's be honest with you, yeah, playing at the back with Pickford, Carl Walker, who's not that confident on the ball, Kieran Trippier, who's out of position playing at left back. It's a recipe. A Declan Rice who can't take it on the half turn. It's a recipe for disaster. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? And
I don't think there's
the fact is, they need
right.
to just go because if they think they're going to play that way against Spain, yeah, I'm saying this now. I'm predicting. Yeah, 3-0 Spain.
We'll get
You
boxed
think
in.
so?
If they play like they have been playing against Holland and all these other teams, I'm saying
Bear in
3-0.
mind, bear in mind,
3-0.
the only reason why the second half looked like that is because Ronald Koeman was like, "Yo, my midfield's non-existent. They're getting walked around. They're getting outplayed, yeah,
Yeah,
by a large margin. So I
yeah.
need to do something to like tie down the game." So it was literally his
It worked.
tactics that worked in the second
But
half, which is why we were like,
Ronald Koeman's a
everyone had
poor
a quite,
manager. Ronald Koeman's a poor manager. Great footballer, but he's a poor manager.
yeah, but he
Yeah,
was
he's a
good
poor
enough to
manager, but
stink
he
out
got
the
it
second
right.
half.
He
He
didn't.
got it right.
Wait. What did he get right?
His
He
substitutions,
killed the game. He
No,
killed the
no,
yeah.
no, no.
game.
Listen, I'll tell you the biggest mistake he made before the game started. Yeah,
But
starting Donyell Malen. He's crap. Donyell Malen, yeah, has made an impact off the bench, yeah. And you start Donyell Malen on the right hand side, yeah, with a front with Gakpo and Depay, and obviously Depay come off injured. Gakpo looked like he could do something, but didn't do anything. Xavi Simons was I mean his goal was class to be fair, where he nicked the ball off of Declan Rice and a great finish. But you don't start Donyell Malen because you've now wasted a sub. He's taken off at half time anyway. You know what I
all
mean?
right, all right. I would
Oh,
say this year, if
oh,
Dumfries scores one of those chances,
header, yeah.
everyone would be saying something different right now.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
They would have
I
they
would
would
tell
have
you
said
straight.
whatever his idea was, it worked.
Nah, listen, I would have told you straight, yeah. Donyell Malen should never have started that game. Donyell Malen hasn't I don't think has started a single game, I believe, in this tournament for Holland. And yet you start him in a semi-final and you bring him
You
off at
know
half
what
time.
though? He was the only other player apart from Gakpo in the forward line. Maybe apart from that striker, what his name's the
What?
ex-Man
Weghorst.
United player. Yeah,
Weghorst.
Vegas. He was probably one of the only ones that was like making a difference, and he scored 2 goals over there.
Well, as I'm saying,
So,
he scored
so,
two as an impact sub, I think.
so if the manager's looking at it, he's like, okay, on form,
Or
this is what makes more sense
should have played
because
Jeremy Frimpong.
yeah,
Shut
but he
off that
hasn't
left
really
hand
been playing
side.
that much. He hasn't really been playing much.
I know, but if he'd have played Frimpong with Dumfries, yeah, you're locking down that left hand side. That's what he should have done, you know, because both Dumfries and Frimpong have got pace, and obviously Luke Shaw was bombing forward. Then you had what's his face? You had Foden and Bellingham. They were going out there every so often, but that side would have been locked down. But the fact you play Donyell Malen and then you
Yeah.
move Marlon to the middle and take him off, that's a waste of a sub for me.
Yeah, it might be
I don't
wasting a
know.
sub, but
I
I still think his tactics work. It stopped England from being as
dangerous.
creative as
Yeah.
as they were. Because once that formation change happened, England didn't have a clue of what to do. We went back to what we've been seeing throughout this whole tournament,
That's it.
and I think that's why, like you said, you have to give Southgate his flowers. He brought on players who were going to make a
You
difference,
know what
and
it
they did
is?
make a difference.
With Southgate, yeah, I like more proactive defending. Yeah, I do like aggressive defending. I like pressing.
But we
With
can't press.
Southgate, it's more passive. Even the pressive part is quite passive, but it's structurally sound like 90% of the time. It's not easy to play through. It's not easy to, you have to beat someone one-on-one
Mm.
half the time. It's not easy to pass through. So I have to give Southgate his flowers for that part of it. But in terms of like the performance yesterday,
Mm.
like from the Netherlands perspective, I don't think whatever Koeman's idea was with Malen, I don't think he got enough time to see it since Depay came off injured.
Yeah.
I think he was guilty of like, being a bit wasteful with his opportunities. Gakpo was quiet for too much of the game,
Yeah.
even though he looked good when he was on the ball. It looked like he could cause England some problems.
I
But then
thought Ve- I
England
thought I thought Weghorst was their best attacker
But
this.
then I would say this, the best thing that England did, yeah, in response to the substitutions was they made it difficult for Netherlands impactful players to have any effect on the game.
Mm.
So if you look at Gakpo, for example, he couldn't isolate any player. There was no way he was cutting in on his right most of the time, unless it was one or two crosses. I can't remember their midfielders, the two midfielders, can't remember their names.
Regindas and Shelton.
They had nothing. The whole game they had nothing. At no point in the game were they dominating, were they playing creative passes, were they linking play how they would want to, how they would want to normally. So I would personally say the second half was more of a tactical battle that, looking at it, Southgate won it, which is quite funny. Funny.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Because that was going extra time and penalties. I'm telling you now, that was going extra
was.
time and penalties. And I think that's what Koeman wanted.
You know what, though? I just remembered something. I was having a conversation with someone. We were talking about strikers, and someone was telling me that a certain striker is not an international level striker.
Yeah, that someone was me, yeah. And let me tell you this now, yeah. Let me tell you this now. Hats off, yeah. The strike was a great finish, yeah. But let's not be blinded, yeah. Great finish, but that don't mean that he's here to stay.